every MCU villain that Tony Stark created in the MCU.
You rise, only to fall.
Ironmonger. Obadiah Stane was certainly the first villain that Tony had created.
William, here is the technology.
After Howard died, he took control of the company as he was 18.
Stark's lifelong friend and ally, Obadiah Stane.
Stane was pushed out of the spotlight, so he grew resentful. He hired the 10 Rings to kill Tony. Later, he found the scraps of Tony's Mark I suit, which was built in a cave.
We're still in business.
And he took Tony's arc reactor to power up his own suit, becoming the Ironmonger. He almost took Tony down for good.
For 30 years,
Whiplash. Howard Stark was partly responsible for the creation of Whiplash, as he didn't credit Ivan Vanko for the creation of the arc reactor. So Ivan's son, Anton Vanko, came up with a replica of Tony's mini arc reactor. He tried to kill Tony, but failed. Still, Tony suggested him to double the cycles, which allowed Vanko to make an even more powerful Whiplash suit. Tony only survived by working with War Machine. Aldrich Kilian. Technically, Kilian was the second villain that Tony had created. He didn't meet Kilian on the night of New Year's Eve, leaving him alone on the roof. That gave Kilian his villainous motivation. Over a decade later, Kilian returned as the success leader of AIM. And he also injected himself with the Extremis formula, which Tony helped Maya fix back in 1999. All of it led to a massive fight between Kilian's Extremis army and Tony's House Party protocol. Ultron. Ultron was the biggest villain that Tony had accidentally created. Yes, Bruce helped him as well. The idea behind Ultron was to make a suit of armor around the world. As Ultron was born, he figured that humanity's biggest threat is humanity itself. He came up with a plan for global extinction, turning Sokovia into a meteor.
rise, only to fall.
Thankfully, Tony wasn't alone as his friends fought with him to stop Ultron. But a surprising return is still suspected from Ultron in Phase 4 or Phase 5.
I think a lot about Meteor
Vulture. Adrian Toome's Best Salvage Company signed a contract to clean up New York City. But Tony's founded damage control for that purpose, so Toome's job opportunity was taken from him. He had to resort to selling weapons that he made from the alien tech which he collected before being fired. Later, he became a villain directly connected to Spider-Man. But Tony gets the credit for accidentally creating him.
And other exotic materials.
It's not assholes who made this message.
Mysterio.
All those casualties will be forgotten.
Quentin Beck was another man who grew resentful of Tony. After all, Tony called his life's work Barf.
He renamed my life's work Barf.
So he showed the world what his tech could really do. Beck was the third villain that Tony had indirectly created. And once more, Peter had to suffer for his actions.